Hello and welcome to my first video on this series of blockchain with Sui. And in today's video, I'll be walking you through the installation process of Sui blockchain on your PC. And a quick side note, I am running this tutorial on a Windows PC. So if you're using Ubuntu or any other Linux distro out there, you have to check out several resources. If you're using MacBook, of course. So there are a couple of ways you could install Sui on your PC, and I'll be trying out two available options. First one, which is using Chocolatey, and second one, which is using the SuiUp. Now, the chocolate option is more like the stable version, and it's one of the easiest way you could follow to set up Sui. First thing you need to do is you need to install Chocolatey, which is like a package manager that you could use to then install Sui. You need to go to the Chocolatey website and get Chocolatey downloaded in your PC. So once you're here on the main website, go to the install tab right here at the top, and then this takes you to the installation page where you can install Chocolatey. Now I get some people trying to look for the installer they could download and then run, but unfortunately Chocolatey doesn't provide you with an installer for you to download and use. Instead, you have to run some commands on your command prompt or the PowerShell. So the instruction here says for you to install Chocolatey for individual use, of course, you first of all need to get your PowerShell, right? And it should be in administrative mode. And then you could, of course, install the non-administrative version of Chocolatey. I would advise you go with the first option. And for you to get your PowerShell, if you're on Windows 10, I think in below, you could search for PowerShell on your PC, and you should get PowerShell, right? Windows PowerShell. Good, this one. On Windows 11, you could either use the PowerShell or the terminal. It serves the same purpose. So I'm going to open my PowerShell as administrator, and yes, this should get my PowerShell opened up. And the next thing I need to do is to run this command. It's a command that checks for some kind of Windows restriction that comes with newer versions of Windows. I think Windows 10, Windows 11, that restrict you from running certain commands in your command prompt. Now, when you run this command, you either get restricted or you get allowed. So depending on the outcome, if it returns restricted, then you need to run this second command, or this one, which is going to bypass that security check temporarily to allow you to be able to execute the next command, which will install Chocolatey on your system. I would just go ahead and try the first command. Sorry, not this. I didn't copy that. So get execution policy. I have already set mine to allow previously, so let's see. Now remote assign. I do not have issues, so I could go ahead and simply run the second command. Remember, if you get restricted like this, ensure you run this command or this command. Now if you run this, it is going to stop the restriction completely. If you run this, it is going to bypass it temporarily. And then you run the second command, which is going to get Chocolatey installed in your system. I already have Chocolatey installed following the same procedure, so I do not expect it to install again, right? So okay, Choco is already found here, so it's not going to install twice. Now once you have Choco installed, you should have access to this command Choco from your command line, which you would then use to install Sui. Okay, so we are done with the Choco page, and then I would simply close the Choco tab, come back in here. The next command is for us to run Choco install Sui. For some reason, maybe I should use the terminal. This one should allow me to be able to zoom in a little bit if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Control Plus, this should work. So I'm going to paste that command Choco install Sui, and the next thing I need to do is hit enter. That is going to try to get Sui and then install it for me, but it said Chocolatey dictated. You are not running from an elevated command shell. Okay, so this is more like a warning that this PowerShell or this command prompt I'm using, it's not being run as an administrator, so I might get some restrictions. But if I still want to continue, I would just give it a yes or a no. So I will hit the yes, and then it says Sui is already installed. So I have Sui already installed, and for that reason, I will not be able to install it twice. If you're doing the installation for the first time, you might not necessarily have the path, that's the folder where Sui is going to be installed in your environmental variables. So you need to copy that folder and then add it to your environmental variables so that you have everything working. And then the second step you could use to set up Sui is using the SuiUp. Now the SuiUp is a package that is being run by the creators of Sui themselves. So they noticed some kind of issues with using other packages, and they have come up with this SuiUp to allow us to be able to install Sui easily. But this is still in a testing mode. So if you like to try out things, break things, try to fix them, and you like to experiment new things, then you could go with the second option. This command doesn't work on Windows for some reason. So what I would simply do is I'm going to get the SuiUp repo from GitHub directly, and I will need to download the project. And so they have support for Linux, Mac OS, and Windows. And of course, I'm going to go to the release tab. Right under the release tab here, it's going to take me to another page. And if you are on Windows, right, please do not use this particular one. There are two versions for Windows. Do not use this one. Instead, you should use the second one. For some reasons, I tried the first one. It doesn't seem to work. So click Show All, and then use this one that has SuiUp Windows MSBC x86_64. Simply download this. It's just 2.8 MB, very small, and you should have that downloaded right into your PC. So I have that downloaded in my download folder. This is it. So I would simply grab this from here and take it to my folder where I usually keep my apps. I already have that same zip file here, Sui Windows MSBC whatsoever. So inside of it, you just have an application, SuiUp. It's a Windows app, and then you have readme, and you also have changes.md. And all you need to do is you need to grab this folder and then add it to your environmental variables. So I'll come to environmental variables right here. I would go to this place, then I would come to path, and then right here, path, I'm going to add new. No, let me just edit path. And right in here, I already added that folder, as you can see from here. But if you're trying it for the first time, you need to click new and then you add that same folder there. Okay, I'm not going to add it twice because I already have that folder. Now, the reason why you're doing that is to allow you to be able to run the SuiUp command from your command prompt anywhere in your system. With that all set up, now I could just pull up our command prompt. I will just open the terminal, and then I'll try SuiUp, and there you have it running. So there's one very cool feature I find interesting when using SuiUp. So I've used Filter before, and they have this like doctor command that helps you to check up if all your setup is correct or if there's anything you need to fix. Now this SuiUp also has this command. So SuiUp doctor is going to help you check if there are any issues with your installations or if there's anything missing. And in most cases, for the first time, you might get an issue with this dot value, default binary directory, missing. So if it tells you it's missing, they are going to provide you with a path. You just need to copy that and add it to your environmental variable. We could simply ignore these two warnings because it has to do with us using cargo to install Sui, which is like using the roast procedure, and we don't really need this two for now. So we could simply use the SuiUp to check up if everything is okay. And right in here from this website, we have the next command that we could simply execute to have Sui installed. SuiUp install Sui at testnet. So you could install the testnet or the devnet or the mainnet. Now, for beginners like myself, we advise to use the testnet, right? For those who know somewhat experience. But if you have some experience, you want to try out some cool stuff, you could use the devnet. But just keep it in mind that stuff in the devnet are usually like deleted after 2 weeks when new things have been refreshed. So use the testnet. And if you're going to production, you can use the mainnet. Now, running this command is going to try to download Sui. That's the first thing. And it's around 240 MB, so ensure you have good network for those of us in the village so that you don't get frustrated trying to download a very small file when your network is not good. But after running this command, you should have Sui installed in your PC. So because this SuiUp is kind of relatively new and still in development, it tries to install Sui, but in this folder right here, okay, updates are local, SuiUp binaries, testnet, and then Sui with the version attached to it. So this particular folder is not automatically added to your environmental variables. That's the part. So you have to copy this folder yourself and add it. So when you come to your local dates and then you go to users, go to your user folder, you should have the app data folder somewhere. And ensure, like I said, you set your options to show hidden files, because if you don't show hidden files, you will not be able to see that folder since it is a hidden folder. So app data, we go to local, and then we're going to look for SuiUp and binaries, testnet. Then we have Sui, and we have Sui version 1.58.2. So this will not be here because I have to rename this. For some reason, it's actually supposed to just be Sui, but it happens to come with the version. So all you need to do is you will have to rename this to just Sui. So I already have another Sui right in there, and that's why I will not be able to rename this to that same name, right? So you have to rename that to Sui. After you've done that, you copy the path, that's the location, and then go to your environmental variable, the same place we went earlier, under path, come to edit, and then you add new, then you drop that. I already have that same folder because the last thing I added before this tutorial. So doing that is going to give you access to be able to run Sui from your terminal. With that being said, I would simply come to my terminal and run Sui and hit enter. Okay, you should have this command right in here to prove that you have Sui working. So these are the two options that I've explored. First one, Chocolatey, really straightforward to get you started. While SuiUp, if you are looking forward to trying out some things. Over time, I would advise we stick with SuiUp since it is coming from the developers of Sui themselves. I believe they will be having cool stuff that is going to go very well with Sui itself. And that's it all for this tutorial. If you're joining this channel for the first time, make sure you subscribe, as I'll be making more videos on Sui blockchain and how you can write your smart contracts and more. See you in the next one.